Welcome to my YouTube channel, Dose of Nuru. It's been a long time coming, but finally I have formed this channel to cause disruptive conversation that either women are afraid to speak about, or they're shy, or don't have like the right group of people to speak about with these topics or issues. So today's episode, we're going to talk about purpose versus wellness, and how personally I have realized that if you focus on wellness, automatically it will lead you to purpose, right? And so let's just go into it. So we know that anxiety is a thing, and it's proven by the scientific department that 1 in 3 Generation Z or millennials are suffering from anxiety disorder. And you know that anxiety, like, it's the key, you know, it's the major thing to cause crisis. And so why is this happening? So we are living in a world where the internet is a big thing. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you see everyone is portraying this picture that they're happy, or they're living the life that they wanted to, or whatever it is. And also the UN and the Bank of America, they are saying that we are not doing well as just people, human beings, generally, because there's significant amount of growth. Well, they're talking about it in a perspective of economics and finance, right? But also we were told by the credible scientists that the world, if we do not do better, by 2050, the possibility of we have incredibly destroyed the world we're living in, it is out of this world, mind-blowing. So I get how this is a lot, to take in. So let me take down how I realized from a young age. Let me tell you, I was fortunate enough to know my deepest fears from a young age. Some will say it is precocious, right? And so I remember when I was 12 years old, I used to watch Victorious. I used to like musical shows, right? I used to watch Victorious or High School Musical or Hannah Montana and see these people live this life. And I was in Kenya back then. And I was like, oh my God, I remember this one time when I watched High School Musical 3, the final one, and they were singing the final song and throwing roses and whatever. I cried for 2 hours. I know, as a child, to figure out that this is a movie, you are so young that you cannot take in those emotions or just logically think about that. But I remember I just cried so much, and I was like, oh my God, they are so happy, they're living the life. And also it just came to my attention that everything comes to an end, right? And so the 12-year-old me, I'm living in existential crisis. I'm like, oh my God, am I living my purpose? Am I doing the right thing? And so I vowed to myself then that I will start loving people deeply, do good to this world, and just give myself in everything that I do, just because we are here for a limited time. And so from then, I was in primary school, and I joined every club that I could, formed good friendships with people back then. I went to high school, did the same thing, and it was all going great until I joined college. So I came to the States to join the university. And oh my God, everything that I knew, from Kenya, it was all destroyed on the plane coming here. It's a 2-day plane, it's really long. And so I'm just seated there, just thinking about so many things. And of course, the most important thing I was thinking about, it's the language barrier. In my country, English is just a by the way. And I'm going to this country where English is everything. And so I'm like, oh my God, I don't know even how to conjunct sentences well. How will they understand me? And so in my country, we have these myths about coming to the States and how you present yourself and whatever. It's just a whole thing. And so I landed here. Thank God I had my friend with me who was from Kenya as well. We came together, at least that gave me a sense of comfortability and also just bought me a lot of time to integrate and fit in well. And so we go to class the first semester. Let me just tell you, nothing was easy that first semester. I was learning a lot, unlearning a lot, because coming from a third world country, there's a lot of differences. Just economically, mentally, just everything is different, And so I was doing a lot of unlearning and relearning. And so it reached a point where I was having like a panic attack because I was so lost in this purpose thing, and my wellness was also out the window. And I remember one time I was in my room and I was just listening to music, and my roommate then wasn't there. She had gone for a school thing of which I was to go to, but I was so socially awkward. And remember, back in Kenya, I was like the goon, I was always with my friends and whatever. But coming here, I don't know what happened, just the way I feel like there was a barrier on how people understood me and how I understood them, because let me tell you this whole horror story. And so I remember this one class, I won't mention the class or say the teacher. I was raising up to saying my answer. That's when my insecurities started. I raised up my hand to give out an answer, and the teacher was like, "Your accent is too thick, I cannot understand what you're saying." And I was like, "What? Sir, pardon, what did you say?" And from then I opted not to speak ever if I'm not really needed to. And so when I was having a panic attack, it was really important for me at that point to slow down. And so I decided that I will join therapy the following day, like go to the school guidance and counseling and whatever. And so I was like, oh my God, it's very easy to tell people to go to therapy because it's not you. But when it's you, it's a different story. And so I write like a list. I even have that list like right here. A list of things or troubles that I think I've had from ever since I was young, or things that are making me not be able to evolve or grow in this environment. And so I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'll go to therapy. It's a good thing. I mean, she doesn't know me, and I know already what she's going to tell me. Stay hydrated, write your goals, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, okay, cool, I'll go to therapy. And also this will be a good thing to tell my friends. They're like, Leah, are you going to the basketball game? I'm like, no, I have to stay at home, take it easy, because my therapist says so. So I thought it was a good excuse to stay in as well. And so I went to therapy. And I remember just going in. She had like a really good smile, like inviting one. I know what you're doing. I picked the game. And so I'm like, yeah. And she's like, how are you today? I say, I'm doing great. And she's like, okay, what brings you in? I take out my list, and I'm like, okay, Sarah, so this, and this. And I read her the whole list, and I look at her face, the big smile has gone away, and she's like, oh my goodness. And so I don't know what type of black magic she pulled right there, but I just started bawling. I cried. It was like Niagara Falls in there. And for the first time in my life, I never saw myself in this light. Like, I feel like I had been hit with truth, for the fact that the reason why I wasn't growing well, or I was feeling stagnated in this place, was that I was suffering from a heartbreak that I hadn't dealt with it properly. And also just moving from home, all I knew for 18 years, and coming to this new place and just trying to move on or learn, and grow in this new space. It was like a lot. And also there's a ton of things on this list, but we are not that close, so you won't get the opportunity to know them. But the gist was, I wasn't honest with myself. And so at this moment, she told me, you have to go back to the basics. You have to go back, just find yourself, reflect, find what suits you, be good at you. And I was like, oh, this is so true. when I was back in Kenya, I used to pray a lot, like just do devotions and journal a lot. I was journaling also when I came here, but it wasn't that much. And so I had to go back to the basic. I had to do everything that I thought she was going to tell me, like stay hydrated, do exercise, and whatever. But also, I decided to adapt a wellness routine. So it was just the basic things like stay hydrated, go to the gym, just working out, journal a lot. If your thing is praying or how you talk to God, do that. So I decided to go back to my devotion segments and whatnot. And also I realized that you writing your daily goals, it makes things very easy, and at the end of the day you feel so fulfilled and accomplished. And I thought that was really nice. Basic things just like, oh, do my assignments or go to work or call my family, or you can start small and continue building them until they're major things. Take a day at a time. And so I remember Mike Todd says this thing, shout out to Transformation Church. He had a series of here where he says here is holy, like this moment, you at this place at this time, everything about being here, it is ordained, it is predestined, it is just nice. Trying to find who that person was. I needed to be good at me, because I feel like that's the key. You are all you have, literally, in this, like, everything will change. When I mean everything, I mean the environment, I mean life partners can change, I mean family, we lose loved ones, we are given new ones. When your sisters and brothers give birth to nephews and nieces, those are new family members. But one thing that is constant is you'll be there until the day that you die. So it's a lifetime thing. And so I just had to go back, take things slow, and realize, what? I have to be in the present. So all this social awkwardness or whatever that was just because it was the pressure of trying to fit in, at the same time trying to do more and to prove that I bring something to the table, And so at that moment, I realized really that wellness, what health looks for you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, that is the key element. So when you are comfortable, when you feel that here, shout out to Michael Todd, Transformation Church. He had a series for here, and where he says like here is holy, here is a gift. And also several movies have spoke about this, like Soul, where the guy is like, I want to be this real big jazz player, and the lady tells him this story of a fish that is swimming in the water, and the fish is telling the mother fish that one day I want to swim in the ocean. And the mother fish tells him, what are you doing now? And the baby fish is like, this is just water. So it's how you perceive things that is really important, and so I had to go back to the basics. And I realized also me being in this existential crisis was causing not only harm to myself but also my loved ones, because I had changed how I converse with them, how I normally do my activities, the bond and the relationship. There's this saying that goes, hurt people, not so peaceful people wreak havoc. Similar thing. So instead of chasing external things, you should find a way where you should balance the internal ones. So when you find a good balance between the internal self and what the society or culture is telling you about the external good, or accomplishments. But when you find a good balance and set a good foundation and you're rooted and anchored on that, it is going to be great, because nothing will sway you, from you being healthy, you being happy, you chasing your dreams. That is what purpose looks like, according to me. And so, yeah, in a nutshell, we should work really hard on being good at you. Really, that is all I have learned in these years of living. But yes, that's all I had for you today. Thank you so much for joining my YouTube channel. Well, I hope you subscribe, like, and share this video, and leave a comment down there if you know me back from Kenya. If you're now spirit of new friendship that I told you my life story, just leave a comment, follow me on my social media. Yes, let's keep the conversation going. Thank you for joining my TED